You met someone 3 years ago for 4 seconds, a limp handshake, a name you barely caught, and you decided something about them right there. You've probably never questioned that decision since. Here's what's strange about that snap judgment. It wasn't a guess you'd update later. It became the lens for everything after. Every later thing they did got filtered through it. This is the primacy effect, and it's ruthless. First information doesn't just arrive first. It quietly decides what everything else means. Let's start with why your mind does this. Your brain hates an open question about a person. An undefined stranger is a small, nagging cost. So it closes the file as fast as it can. It grabs the first few details it gets and builds a rough sketch from almost nothing. That sketch becomes the frame for the whole portrait. Think about the last name you were told. You forgot it 2 seconds after hearing it. But a first impression? That one sticks, because your mind treats it as the headline. Everything after reads like small print beneath it. Here's the part that should unsettle you. Once the frame is set, it defends itself. Say you decide someone's cold and standoffish. Later, they're quiet in a meeting. You read it as more coldness, confirmed. But if you decided they were shy, the same silence reads as nervous, sweet even. Same behavior, but the meaning flipped completely. The behavior didn't decide. The frame did. This is why first impressions feel so true. They're not just remembered, they're constantly reproven. Every ambiguous moment gets counted as evidence. And almost every moment is ambiguous. So it sounds completely hopeless, doesn't it? If every new fact just feeds the old story, how does anyone ever change a first impression? Hold on to that question. We'll get there. First, watch how fast the frame forms. It's faster than you think, much faster. Before someone finishes their first full sentence, you've already sorted them into a bin. Trustworthy or not, warm or not. You didn't choose to. It just happened. And that's the point. It's automatic. It runs before your slower judgment wakes up. By the time you're deciding, it's already decided. Now, why does order matter this much? Imagine two people described with the same 6 words. One is smart, stubborn, cold, driven, quiet, blunt. The other, blunt, quiet, driven, cold, stubborn, smart. Same 6 words, just reversed in order. People rate the first person far more warmly. Why? The early words built the frame. Smart arrived first, so blunt became honesty. Led with blunt and smart became arrogance. Nothing changed but the order of arrival. That's the primacy effect in one experiment. Now put that into your actual life. The interview where you froze on question 1, the date where a nervous joke landed wrong. The new job where day 1 went sideways. You didn't just make a bad moment. You may have made a bad frame. And that frame started editing everything after. Your good days got read as lucky flukes. Your off days got read as the real you. So here's the thing to actually remember. When someone's stuck on a bad first impression, you're not fighting their memory of you. You're fighting a story they already finished. And people hate reopening a finished story. Redeciding costs effort. Being right feels better. So they'll defend the old you unknowingly, which brings us back to our question. If the frame defends itself, how do you break it? Not the way most people usually try. Most people argue, they over-explain themselves. I'm actually really warm, I promise. That almost never works. Here's why. Arguing plays right inside the old frame. You're a cold person insisting they're warm. Every word gets read through the coldness. You're not erasing the story, you're narrating it. So don't argue with the frame at all. Break the category the frame lives in. Remember, the frame survives on ambiguous evidence. It reinterprets anything that could go either way. So you need a moment that can't be reinterpreted. One vivid action that only fits the new story. Not a claim. A specific, undeniable thing. And ideally in a completely new setting. Here's why the new setting matters so much. The old frame is glued to the old context. The room and the people where it first formed. Meet them somewhere that memory can't reach. And the frame loses half of its grip. One more piece, and it's the crucial one. Don't hand them the new conclusion directly. Let them arrive at it on their own. A conclusion you reach yourself feels true. One you're handed feels like a sales pitch. So show them and let them say it first. Let's make this usable. Here's the actual move. Pick one clear behavior that contradicts the label. If they think you're careless, be visibly meticulous. Once, sharply, on something that matters to them. Do it where the old impression didn't form. Say almost nothing about it. Let the act talk. Then give it a little time to settle. You're not asking them to forgive one moment. You're giving them a new headline to file under. Do that a few times and the frame cracks. Not because you finally argued it away, but because you made it too costly to keep. And flip all this for the impressions you make. Front load your best. Lead, don't slowly warm up. The first 60 seconds write the whole caption. Whatever you put there, they'll read the rest through. So next time you just know about someone, pause and ask whose story you're actually reading. Theirs or the one you finished in 4 seconds? If this reframed how you see people, subscribe. It's the quiet stuff about minds we dig into. First impressions aren't permanent, they're just stubborn.